In this lesson, we'll cover detailing in 3D. So adding annotation details such as text and dimensions in 3D is similar, but yet a little different than how you do it in 2D. First, you'd want to create a 3D view. Create the 3D view, then use the section box to crop that view, and then finally hide that section box to end up with something like what you see on your screen. Now, once you have that placed, go ahead and rotate the model to the final orientation of how you'd like that view to look. Then you should lock the view orientation. To do that, you can click the house on the very bottom of your screen and click Save Orientation and Lock View. When you do that, this prevents the model from being rotated. Now you can zoom in and you can pan, but you cannot rotate it. Now, with that set, we can start to add our annotation. So let's go to the Annotate tab. Now on the Annotate tab, we'll start off by adding text first. So let's click Text on the text panel of this tab. And after we click Text, let's verify the format. Maybe I want to use 2 segments. So I'll select 2 segments. Justify in the middle left for both sides. And then I'll verify that the alignment is left. Now in the property box on the left, I'm going to change the text style. Change that to an 1/8 inch Arial. Now I'm ready to start creating my text and my leaders. The first thing Revit will want you to do is to click the point for the arrowhead of the leader. So I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to click the outer surface of one column, drag my mouse away, click for the first segment, drag and click for the second segment, and then simply type in my text. In this case, I'm just going to type column. When you're done, hit the modify key. Now the arrow appears small, and that's because of the scale within the view. If you use these type of arrows and you change the scale, for example, if I click 1 to 100 in the left corner of my view and change this to 1 to 200, you see the actual text increases as well as the actual text itself. So you can change this, and I can also change the orientation of the lines and line segments by moving the drag handles. Let's add another text with leaders. So click Text again. This time choose 1 segment. I'll leave the rest of the format settings as is. The text type is also set the same at 1/8 inch Arial. Zoom in and maybe I'll click a beam. Drag my mouse out, place the segment, and then type in your text, in this case beam. And then click Modify to accept the actual text in leader. And you can continue to add more leaders with text or text without leaders. Now, as far as dimensions, when you're creating dimensions in 3D, the dimensions are drawn on a plane, and that plane is currently set to a specific level. By default, it's probably level 1. We're going to see that by the first dimension we draw. Then if you want to orient your dimensions differently, we can choose a different plane. So let's start the Align Dimension tool, and I'm going to zoom in around the lower right part of this building. So on the Annotate tab, click Aligned. And now, just like any other dimension, I'm going to pick references to dimension to and from. So I'm going to pick the left vertical line of the wall, and then the right vertical line of the wall. And then I can see a dimension I'm pulling out away from the wall. Go ahead and left click to place it. Now, what if you want to add a vertical dimension? Well, I need to change the plane at which the dimension is being placed upon. Right now it's sitting on the floor. But you can click a wall, you can click a roof, a different surface, or you can pick a grid line to define what you're going to sketch the dimension on. But to actually change that, let's first click the Modify button in the upper left to end the command. Then go to your Structure tab. On the Structure tab, all the way to the right in the Work Plane panel, click Set. Now this is going to ask me to do a few things. One is verify the name of the current work plane, which I see here is level 1. And then 2, what is the new plane you want to sketch upon? You can see you can choose one of the other floors, levels, or a grid line. Or what we're going to do here is pick a plane. Meaning I'm going to pick a surface of a wall and I'll be able to sketch on that surface. So when I choose Pick a Plane, click OK. Revit's going to ask you to pick a plane, and I'm just going to simply choose this right wall. When you mouse over the edge, you can see it highlight. Go ahead and left click it. That is now my sketch plane. So now let's start the dimension command again. Go to the Annotate tab, click Aligned for dimension, and this time I'm going to click the bottom edge of the wall, go and click the top edge of the wall. Then I can drag my dimension out on that plane to the right side of the wall, and it's aligned to that wall itself. Click Modify to end the command. So as a review, in this lesson, we looked at detailing in 3D. We first talked about creating a three-dimensional view, using the section box to crop that view, and then hiding the actual section box itself. From there, we lock the view, so you can't orient it or rotate it differently than from what it is. Then we added text to the view. We added text with one segment and two segments. And then we added a dimension, and the dimension was added based on the default plane of the floor plan 1. Then we changed that plane for which we sketch upon to the wall on the side and drew a dimension aligned to that wall.